Hey, 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 hello, everyone. Welcome to the short answer. It is always a joy to be with you. Welcome to our larger community. It is always good to be with you. I'm here regularly with our programming and smaller groups of people that are deep into various topics that we are studying in all three schools of Morter Institute. Well, I say smaller than our whole large community, but we have a very robust and wonderful time together, but it's always wonderful to be here once a month with you in the short answer in terms of all sorts of topics that we get to discuss and discover and to touch base with some of you. Maybe the only time that I get to connect with you. So hello and welcome. It's always a joy to be with you. And before we get started, I have a few announcements to make, but what we're going to be talking about in just a little bit is how to discern when it's time to apply the science and when it's time to apply the soulful self in every situation in life, and how to navigate and steer our lives accordingly. So you're going to want to hang tight for that. So just in the meantime, a few announcements I want to make. Let me pull them up here. Want to let you know about an in-person event that we are teaching in Scottsdale, Arizona on September 26th, 27, 28, 29, 4 days of a deep immersion into how to utilize the work of the energy codes and the research that I do at Morter Institute in terms of living as the quantum self, how to still the mind, how to allow for the soulful self to transcend the mind and to arrive in the high brain centers where we can activate our true creatorship. And so one healing modality after another all day long, we're going to be actually doing the work, not learning about it, but doing the work one moment after another for 4 days. So it's quite an immersion and beautiful transformations. In addition to those healing practices that we'll be working with and activating high brain centers through the use of some breath work and meditative practices all at the same time, we're also doing beautiful healing sound bath transmissions in the evenings and beautiful gong associated or gong accompanied yoga classes, BodyAwake yoga classes in the morning that will absolutely transform you with the sound vibrations moving through your body, truly opening and activating. So join us September 26th through 29th in Scottsdale, Arizona. The information is in the comments for you to register for that. So plug in. You're going to love it. We had a wonderful experience last year and many folks returning for that experience again. So join us there. We also have a BodyAwake Yoga Intensive online course starting. It is a deep dive into the Asana Training, the different postures that enhance your practice and the energy flow through your body by putting your body into these sacred geometries. Learning how to build neurocircuitry and electromagnetic energetic circuitry while in asana is what BodyAwake Yoga is all about, so that you are grounded and anchored in the body, so that you can transcend this illusion of this physical world and truly be awakening to your multidimensionality and utilizing the universal mind as your very own. It's intended for you and meant to be. So plug into that. And it is available now with instant access to the modules that you will be able to begin processing them, learning at your own pace, working with it in this way. And you also receive 2 practices with certified teachers, and the link for that is also in the comments section. The BodyAwake Yoga teacher certification is open. The registration is open, and the cohort officially begins March 1st and March 1st. In 2025, yes. And but you can have early access and begin working with some of the intensive modules in the meantime. So it is part of something that is included inside of the certification program, that the retreat that I was just mentioning, the yoga intensive, and you get all of that together inside of your decision to become a BodyAwake Yoga teacher. So check out that in the links as well below, and always feel free to contact us at the Institute if you have questions beyond what is answerable right there. Also want to let you know about the next monthly healing transmission. It is Wednesday, August 28th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You definitely want to be at that. We also have our Journey Awake to Southern France coming up. It is a journey through the spaces that Mary Magdalene was teaching the ascension practices after the crucifixion and the teachings of the Essenes. It's something that we dive deeply into. This program that we are leaving for on September 2nd through the 15th is sold out, but I do want you to know that we will be returning in 2025. And so you need to jump in and let us know that you're interested in that, because it sells out very quickly. All right. So also want to mention our membership classes. The gold membership will allow you to join us in the master class, which is at the bottom of this hour, where we get to answer your questions and interact and exchange on a very deep and rich level. There are people that have been attending that master class for years with me, and I absolutely love it. And we have new people joining every month. So plug in with us there and allow yourself to really be a part of a deeper conversation than we get to have in this setting. And also the BodyAwake Yoga membership is 2 new yoga classes every month. You have access to, as well in both of these memberships, having access to the archives of hundreds of over 100 classes on both counts that you can utilize for the yoga, finding your favorites, working with it regularly, or if you land on some new and exciting information in the gold membership of past master classes. I've had many people tell me all the time that it is truly life-changing for them, that they binge watch all of it and just dive in and really get into this quantum conversation and bioenergetics and epigenetics and the wisdom of the soulful application of the science. And that's kind of the point of our conversation this evening. I was thinking about, what to do with the short answer every time as I'm walking in. It's like, okay, what do we need to talk about? What do we want to share? And how can I be the most supportive to you? And there's such an amazing confluence of energies that are happening right now in our world. There are so many conflicted energies and polarizations that are happening. And at the same time, there are also new scientific discoveries being revealed right in the middle of all that conflict. And sometimes we don't even get to hear much about those things because we're preoccupied with the diversive polarity conversations and arguments, and particularly in the United States right now, it's a big political time and just all sorts of stuff going on. So how do we remember the truth of who we are? This is what, was on my mind as I came into the studio to speak with you. It's like, wait a second, let's remember who we were before we were polarized like this. Let's remember who we are before we're even in the human experience with the opportunity to become caught up in the movie out here. And so Dr. Lisa was asking me, okay, what's the title for our short answer today? And I said, 2 parts science, 1 part soul. I wonder what that means. So I don't know, but here we go. All right. So what I think it means is that we have a tendency to lean on our science a lot. And we have a tendency to get caught up in what we can prove and what the evidence is showing. And really the soulful discussion has been since the beginning of time that it's all already here. It's right here. And I used to wonder, how do these sages and seers and the gurus, the teachers, the ancient East for thousands of years, how do they know the construct of the inner workings of our nervous system? How did they know about the pineal gland? And how did they know about this cave of Brahma, this area in the center of the brain, and its functions that allowed for us to translate information from these higher realms into this dimension, into this physical body, and these inner realms up to this physical awareness, and how to translate the information from the outer world into the inner, all in this one particular area of the brain? How do they know this when they weren't dissecting in laboratories and splicing and slicing with MRIs and doing all of the function tests that we know how to do in these days? And then I started having awakenings and openings 24 years ago, and I started opening in the third eye and seeing the interior architecture and recognizing This is exactly how they knew. They knew because they could see. They knew because they could witness and observe the functions of the body and the interactions of these cells. And I began being able to see into the corpuscles of my own system and watching fluids flow and exchanges happen and watching synapses occur and seeing the interior architecture that is actually the same shapes of the beautiful sacred sites and the basilicas and the cathedrals and the temples around the world that have been built for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and depicting this sacred space. And the reason it all comes together is because they were awake and they knew before the science was there to prove it. And so here we are in a world where we now have science that can prove these things. And we're so dependent on our left brain that we start to get super jazzed about the science that's telling us that we can turn on and turn off our own DNA, and that our own DNA has an influence on the tiny photons of the exterior world. So we can decide what our DNA is emitting, and our DNA can emit a vibration that causes the world to start shaping itself in response to what we're doing in our own internal world. Now, that's pretty exciting science, but it was true long before science could prove it. And this is what I love, because even though we go 2 parts science and 1 part soul, I know that the soul is eclipsing all of the science that we will ever discover. And so why not, while we're getting enthusiastic about the science that is before us, also start enhancing what it feels like and what it is to live as the soulful self, what it is to know the knowing, what it is to be the one who is the eternal self, the one who's been in touch with this cosmic intelligence and this universal mind is our mind. What's it like to be that? And so a way that you can, and I'm challenging you to do this month in our 2 parts science, 1 part soul, is maybe flip it over and go to 2 parts soul and 1 part science. And meaning, let's give some weight to the soulful self. Let's give it some influence and allow ourselves the wisdom to apply the science that we know. So if we just take those couple of examples that I just gave, that we can turn on and turn off our own DNA, little telomeres that will decide what we're going to express in the world and what we're not, if we're going to get sick or if we're not, if we're going to be self-healing or if we're not, if we're going to tap into our full potential and flourish in this life, or continue to struggle based on the story that we're depending on to define ourselves. If we're going to do all that, then we have to have some kind of guiding light to pull us out of not being dependent upon the story and really moving into our creatorship. So here's the invitation. So if we're going to apply the science that we know, we have to feel differently inside. It doesn't mean feeling differently about yourself. It's not about that. It's not about I'm going to feel differently about myself, because then there's 2 of me. And those 2 have to become 1 for us to conjure up enough potency to pierce the veil and to transmute and to transcend this confinement that we've conjured up for ourselves inside how we live as human beings when we're on the backside of the model of consciousness in our victimhood. We're going to have to transcend that into our creatorship. And the way that we do that is to apply the science that we already know. We would do well to apply the science that we already know instead of becoming addicted to the next new scientific, discovery, and then pondering that and getting excited about that, just like getting another hit at the party. Why don't we just drop in and infuse and embody what we already have discovered? Because we still wouldn't be catching up to what spirituality has known for the millennia. And I don't mean religion. I mean the true adepts, the ones who see and the ones who say and the ones who wrote about it in direct communication as a user's manual for you to do it too. That's what I'm talking about. So we have to create the environment on the inside that is the environment that will turn on and turn off these various telomeres in such a fashion that our own DNA will shift its vibrational expression into the world, the song that it's singing, if you will, and it will have an effect on our environment, on our relationships, on our dynamics, on our communications with those that we love, or attracting people that we resonate more closely with into our lives. It will happen when we feel a certain way on the inside. But we've been trained to believe that we feel the way we feel on the inside based upon something that's happened on the outside that's causing us to feel the way that we feel. And so here's an invitation, my friends. Practice feeling whatever you want to feel, regardless of your circumstances. Practice feeling the vibration of ownership. Practice feeling the vibration of abundance. Practice feeling the energetic frequency of forgiveness. Practice feeling the vibrational disposition if you were being a creative presence on the planet instead of getting better at reacting to what other people do that you don't like, getting one-ups on them, keeping score, getting ahead of the game, charging them before they charge you. That vibration is no longer where we need to dwell. We're here to learn to dwell as the creators that we are. And so I invite you to explore what would it feel like in my body if I was already that. Not imagining what it would look like, not imagining what I would do, but truly getting in touch with the vibration that would be present in my body. And bring it, bring it, bring it. Allow the vibration in your body, regardless of what your external circumstances look like. What's going to happen is you find yourself smiling no matter what's going on around you. There's like this secret kind of story, this kind of inside story, this joke kind of thing going on inside of you that realizes that that has nothing to do with what's going on in here. And what's going on in here has everything to do with what's going on out there. And so we sort of step into life with this sort of secret knowing that I could buy into this upset. I could get all entangled in this situation. I could get all caught up in this scenario that's happening right now in the world or in my hometown or in my family or under my roof, whatever it might be. Or I could practice one part soul, because the one part soul is an umbrella actually that covers overarchingly over everything else that you will ever experience. And to be practicing as the soulful self means this: vibration first, frequency first, frequency first. Generate a vibration inside your body and commit to doing it every day. That this is the vibration that is my new come from. This is my home base. This is my signature. This is what I'm intending. So imagine, what would it be like if I was agreed with? What would it be like if I was supported? What would it be like if I was gotten and understood? What would it be like if I was able to create the life that I would love to be living? What would it feel like in the body? And that's the only thing that we have to do. We just have to commit to that no matter what. No matter what email you receive, or no matter what somebody says, or no matter how somebody counteracts you or contradicts you or whatever it might be, just stay the course. Stay the course. Because that is the nature of why you're here. You're here to learn how to do that no matter what. And so as all these things are happening, it's just upping the ante because you've gotten good at the vibrational frequencies that you were practicing before, and it's time for you to get good at some new ones. It's as simple as that. Okay? So let's flip it over, 2 parts soul and 1 part science. Let's turn it over and allow ourselves to rise up as a vibration. I assure you, if you truly, intimately, deeply, and tenderly feel that vibration every day, your life cannot not change. It is at your command. And it's a vibrational language that is spoken. So let's flip this into how it was meant to be in the first place and allow ourselves to awaken. Whether you ever awaken and see your interior architecture or witness the happenings in multiple dimensions, what really matters is that you master yourself while you're here, right here, on this planet, in this body, doing this thing. And it all starts with you commanding the vibration that will reign, the vibration that will fill and feed your system, and the vibration that will flow through this toric field system that is you. It's time for us to master that. And I look forward to sharing more deeply about how we go about doing that in the masterclass, which is coming right up at the bottom of the hour. So click on that link that allows you to join us as a gold member in the membership program to come into the masterclass and dive a little bit more deeply with me. It's always a joy to be here with you at The Short Answer. And I look forward to seeing you in just a few moments in the masterclass. Much, much love to everyone. Blessings and namaste.